Oh, everybody on a snowy East Coast USA today. I'm done shoveling. I'm coming to you live Friday night at 6 p.m. How you guys doing with this little delay that we have? There's always a delay. The interwebs. It's always crazy. And as you know, we have a special guest today, LAIRD, NIVEN, part of the fellowship. And I thank him so much for coming on. And we'll get to him in about 5 minutes. So I want to get all this welcoming out of the way. I want to thank my YouTube supporters, the Knights, the Captains, the Marshals, the Senechels, all the people that put super chats in and stickers for me. I thank you so much. I also want to thank Judy and Daniel Spino for their extra support, and Dee Dee Williamham for the great profile picture of me. And also Renee Tuttle wants to see if you have any thing that inspired you from Oak Island, drawing, make it, send it to her so we can show the world. I want to thank my moderators, Tammy, Judy, Renee, Michelle, Daniel, Starlene, Kathy, and Scott. And to our Quest lifetime contributor, Chris Dona. Only when you see the number scrolling, that's when we'll start calling in and talking to Laird. The number's 1-323-813-4135. When you see it scrolling, I only can take one call at a time. If we get too many calls jammed up together, we'll have to do it like a prize wheel, and I'll put all your names on a prize wheel, and whatever name comes up, then you'll be able to call in. We'll see how that goes. I want to thank my Quest of Oak Island Facebook group, all your 71,000 people. I want to thank my YouTube channel, my Twitch channel, Twitter's getting hot, and also on our audio podcast on Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, and such. I thank you so much. Alrighty. Hello, Linda, Jesdia, Starlene, Caroline. Hello, everyone. Sandollar, the professor, Becky, Richard, BC, Saint. All you guys are here on a Friday night. No fish fry, and Cindy Monroe. And don't forget, when Laird comes on, can you see us? Can you hear us both? And then we'll get on with it. Hello, Aaron. All righty, we'll get right to it. So without a further ado, the last time I talked to Laird is on and off. We PM each other. But the last time he was live, I couldn't believe the date was October 5th, 2020. So let's give him a warm welcome from the Quest and the YouTube channels and the Twitter channels. Welcome, Laird Niven.
Hey, John, how are you?
Hello, Laird.
Hello.
You getting any storms or snow up there today, like me?
Yeah, it's been snowing since noon.
Oh,
yeah.
My lordy. Are you a skier like Dr. Spooner and Steve hitting the slopes or no?
No, I've never skied, unfortunately. Skated, but
I'm probably like you. I just like to go to the lodge and drink.
There you go.
Hello, Laird, Linda, everybody. Hello. Good evening, Laird. Let me pop in here.
Hello, guys.
And there's the one I wanted to see.
It's funny how complicated this whole COVID thing has made production on the island, because it's everything's remote now. So there's a lot more time spent trying to iron out technology issues.
Right. It's like they had something in Nova Scotia. I printed it out that the premier is getting a little more lenient since the end of this COVID is sort of going down a little bit. Have you heard anything on that?
Yeah, they're starting to relax some of the rules. Yeah.
And Vicky, welcome, superstar Laird. Oh my lordy 40. Laird's the best. He's easy going, easy to talk to. And now we know he doesn't ski, so that's okay.
No.
Well, Laird, for the people that have not seen you live before, why don't you give them just a little rundown of how you got involved with Oak Island and how you got together with Marty and Rick in the fellowship, and then we'll get into some other questions after that. Thank you, Laird.
You're welcome. I first got a call in, and I guess during season 3, about coming out to the island, but production didn't follow up with it. Season 4, when Gary started finding a number of significant artifacts on Lot 24, the province stepped in and required an archaeologist to be with him as he made his way through. Mm-hmm. So that was my introduction, because I'd done work for Dan and I'd done work for Fred Nolan as well in previous years. So my name was associated with Oak Island. So I was the first person they called. Mm-hmm. And the rest is history, I guess.
The rest is history. I hear you. And then I loved it when we had a little, not background check, but they showed how the program is filmed and mm-hmm. videoed, not showing how they edit it. And who knows, one time Rick's got long hair, the next time the trees are bare, next time, it's all kinds of crazy things all chopped in together,
Yeah.
And just unbelievable. So I had some questions since they knew you were coming on. And the main questions is mostly about the Mi'kmaq, when you found the little bit of pottery on the Mi'kmaq, and then the storm came in.
Mm-hmm.
So people want to know, and I'm not going to say that I hear this and I hear that, and I'm glad you can answer these questions for the people out there, because it's coming from you. It's not bits and pieces this week and another sentence next week and another section. So, and guys, he agreed to answer these questions, and then after we'll have a call in. Okay. This is a accumulation from Jim James, but his questions I had repeatedly over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying this is the first part here. We'll go nice and slow. Where does the CCH stand in terms of they having authority to shut down private property and funded workings?
So, my permit is through CCH, right? So all the work I do on Oak Island is under permit from CCH, right? So they oversee everything I do. Mm-hmm. And it's a very delicate situation for them. And if you say anything about a shutdown to them, they'll say no.
Right.
We actually weren't ordered to shut down. It was strongly recommended.
Right. Now, is CCH your employer, Laird?
No. No, I'm employed by, I get paid by a production company in Nova Scotia.
Okay. Do they derive their authority from the government, or do the various government entities have the ability to override their decisions?
No, as far as the permitting goes, they have the overriding authority. Mm-hmm. In theory. They are the arbiters of the permit. So they make all the decisions. Now there might be some political pressure every once in a while, like every other department.
Okay. And also the minister that came to the show, we saw as fans that came on the show, does he get involved with any of the CCH decisions since he's there and actually seeing what's going on? I mean, it can't hurt for him not being there, Laird?
So that was actually Tim Houston. Right. He was on the island. He's a fan. He was on the island 2 years ago as a member of the opposition for the provincial government. Okay. And when he came on this time, he came on as premier.
Okay.
So he's the highest political authority. And I think he just wanted to show his support because he was a fan of the show. Mm-hmm. He also realizes that there's an economic benefit to Nova Scotia by having the show there. So he came out just to, he was invited out and came out just to show his support.
Very, very good. Also, I get this question a lot also. Who were the various archaeologists on the island actually working for? Were they employed by the fellowship or Los Angeles or the government?
No, they're employed. I'm a independent contractor.
Right.
They were employees of Oak Island Tours.
Okay. Now, can LAIRD say if the CCH or the Indigenous Peoples agencies have or have not visited the island? And if so, was there any meetings concerning the Mi'kmaq and various roadblocks that have taken place? Now, is anybody there come there from the Mi'kmaq?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we had a meeting with them once, and we've had at least 2 meetings with CCH on island. Yeah.
Right, and it wouldn't even bother us all if they had their own trailer there. You know what I mean? I mean, not their own trailer, but if you find something there and they work alongside with you, it would seem obvious that they're part of this community and they're part of this island because they were there way before anybody else.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what happens in Ontario. A lot of these projects have an Indigenous kind of liaison or monitor with them. So that way, because we get judged by what people see on TV.
Yep.
It's the only insight they have.
Right.
I'd much rather have someone with us on the ground who can go back to the elders and say, look, actually, this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right. I'll just put this one up here for now. Richard says, was the pottery likely from a native litter bug?
Unlikely. I think I can say that we did find a lot more than just pottery. For some reason, production decided to focus on the pottery.
Okay.
We found a few scattered pieces. Probably the biggest piece was like that.
Okay.
We didn't get enough time to decide whether, because Dunfield did bulldoze a lot of stuff down.
Oh yeah, the films I've seen. Oh my lordy 40.
Yeah, I think what we found was mostly intact, but there were still pieces. So we didn't find a whole pot, for example, which would be a great indication that things were completely undisturbed for 2,500 years.
Oh, yeah, unbelievable. Now, like when they showed, I call it a wharf. I don't think it's a road. That's my own personal opinion. When you got down to the road in that level, which was, I think Steve said was about 3 foot below the muck, where the road was.
Mm-hmm.
Showing that layer there, if it was a wharf or if it was a road, you should have found multiple items at that 3rd foot level, not the top, not 12 inches down, but right where that road or whatever they want to call it, that's where the action was happening.
Yeah.
That 3rd foot level. I don't understand.
And that's what we hoped for.
Yeah.
That was the idea of working inside it, is to find an artifact from when it was built, right? We found artifacts from the 1840s, 1850s on top.
Right.
But it was kind of like Smith's Cove, where it was so clean, it was weirdly clean. And we may revisit the Stone Road. I don't know. But we weren't able to find, you'd expect clay pipes or something to be thrown away while they're doing the work. And we got nothing.
Yep, I hear you. All right, let me put a couple of pictures up first before we get the call-ins. Everybody wants to call in, so hang on, guys. We're only been in for 10 minutes here. You don't want to give Laird a headache within 10 minutes. He'll never come back. All right, let me see here. All right, what I want to go over to you, this was on a drilling down.
Right. I haven't seen any of this, by the way.
Oh, okay. So this was on a drilling down the last time they were on. I had no idea that Abe Lincoln was going to take over Oak Island last week. So everybody was going crazy. Like, where's Oak Island? Where's Oak Island? Well,
I heard that.
Yeah, we got Abe Lincoln. I'm not an Abe Lincoln fan, but they showed the timeline, and I try to screenshot it as much as I can. But this is where they have it towards the end, the Oxshoe,
Yeah.
Smith's Cove. And I'm saying here, a question to you is, now on Smith's Cove, since they put all the money back into it to make it original, can I mark off Smith's Cove as going back there unless there's some kind of map that's unbelievable from a satellite that shows something right there?
Yeah, Smith's Cove is like completely clean.
Okay.
Yeah, from our last cofferdam bump out in, there wasn't anything that wasn't, unless it's below. We have, maybe you hear us talk about the sea horizon, which is the kind of glacial soil. So
right,
we always dig down to the sea horizon, and then we know there's nothing below it.
Right.
If there's a tunnel or something in the sea horizon, that would still be there because we didn't go below that.
Okay. All ready? Oh, I went the wrong way. And this was going towards the end of it when you see the cross there at the 1300s.
Yeah.
And the swage bars and the spikes. But what I want to ask you is your own personal opinion. I mean, I've been with this since 9 years. You just got done doing season 9. What is all this archaeology that has been found telling you? Not saying, oh, it's a Bill of the Kids treasure. No treasure, no nothing. Just what are all these artifacts telling LAIRD of what happened in different sections of the decades or centuries?
I mean, to me, it's saying there was undocumented activity pre-1795 on Oak Island. The nature of that, I mean, I'm really intrigued. Obviously, I'm a big Samuel Ball fan, and the relationship of Samuel Ball, with the British Navy, the Royal Navy, for example, I find pretty exciting. The bale seal, the cloth bag, the lead bag seal,
right,
is from a very specialized thing. It really shouldn't. It should only be found on a port where things are being, like, big bags of cloth are being unloaded.
Right.
But we just can't seem to find that smoking gun. For archaeology, we want to find more than one artifact. We want to find a collection of artifacts in a nice, what we call context.
Right.
So we can definitively say, this was here for this long. This was here for 300 years. No doubt. Right now, we're just getting a collection of single artifacts. So it makes it really intriguing, but for an archaeologist, it's frustrating because we just don't quite have enough.
Right. And even all this radiocarbon dating, I don't know, I see how it works, but I'm not sure how they get it out of the piece of wood, if it's the chemicals in the wood. And they always go, well, this could have been dated from the 1300s to the 1650s, but they always take the 1300s. Well, how come it can't be the 1630s? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's production. They need to.
Yeah.
We're two realities, right? We have the search, and then we have the TV show. So I kind of have to have respect for both people.
Right, which I do, which we all do.
Yeah.
Even they also told us, LAIRD, I don't know if it's a drilling down or something. I get hit with so much information. They said they found over 2,000 artifacts last year. What can that be?
I don't think we cataloged. I could probably check for you. We certainly cataloged over 1,000. I'm not sure we hit 2,000. But it was a lot. Yeah.
You're going to have to get a bigger museum over there.
I know. Well, we don't have any of the artifacts right now. So.
All right. And then this 600 AD board is driving me crazy ever since they brought it up on the program. I mean, how the heck does this fit in on anything?
That's a good question. I'm not necessarily the biggest ship in the swamp kind of guy.
Me neither.
And the archaeologists use carbon-14. So what we would look for, say, in the southeast corner of the swamp where the pottery was found,
Right.
we would look for remains of campfires, so carbonized wood.
Yep.
But secure in a nice secure context, and we would date that, and we would get a nice date from that would give us a good date for the site. The problem with that wood is it's been exposed to the elements. There could be gasoline contamination. A whole bunch of things could be wrong with an artifact that you just kind of pick out of the swamp.
Yeah, what I was waiting for is when they found those barrel heads or the parts of barrels, did they ever find any kind of pollen, or did they ever find any kind of substance that might have been in there? Because they've been in the mud. I don't know how they would do that. I know the mummies in Egypt, they can, there was flour in there was wheat in here, there's wine in there. What about out of the swamp? Did they do anything about as far as anything?
No, I know when they were cleaned off, they were pretty, there wasn't anything in it. But apart from C14, and I'm not sure they did C14 on those, okay. They did no further testing.
The lead cross. Where would we be without them finding the lead cross on the beach, Laird? Where would we be?
I know. It was pretty cool. I remember that time quite clearly. It was pretty amazing.
It's unbelievable. Now,
that being said, we do have one. One was found in an archaeological context in New Brunswick, dating the village was dating to the 1600s.
1600s?
Yeah.
Now, have you been to any other or anybody else ask you like to go to Frog Island or go to any kind of islands around there to sort of compare? Does this stuff we're finding on Oak Island, you find some of the comparable stuff like on Frog Island or Ball Island or anything like that? Has anybody asked you to make me, or even Marty, say, why don't you go take a look? I got a permit to just go look over there.
Well, yeah, I would have to apply for the permit, and that may be coming, right? Because I get that question a lot.
Yeah.
If you went on, well, I get that from Marty and Rick. If you go on any other islands in Mahone Bay, will you be finding what we find?
Right.
And my answer tends to be, I don't think so.
Okay. That's what a lot of people were wondering. Well, Frog Island, they got a little swamp area and there's no road in there. And when the currents come in and out and the tide brings all kinds of stuff like the good old cork stump in the swamp that all of a sudden you don't hear nothing about.
No.
Even though the guy right on camera says, well, I'm taking this piece and getting it dated and everything. And then boom.
Yeah,
we hear nothing.
I can't help you with that one either.
Well, I'm just saying how, they give us as fans these little tidbits. And that's why I do these podcasts, is to try to put some sense into some of it. You know what I mean? So they're comparing, this other piece there now that they're looking for, that piece of steel with some gold on it.
Yeah.
But then if things are moving around down the solution channel at 170 feet, I still don't understand if they're at the 80-foot or 90-foot level. This stuff isn't moving around. It's been sitting there. I mean, I don't know if it was regurgitated by Restall or whatever, or Dunfield.
That's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the problem I don't understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know how they get that date from that piece of metal, but
there's just the stuff going through.
Yeah.
Of course, I think another couple of slides. I got to ask you about the boot that was shown last week.
See, what archaeologists look for is, if you look at the brooch with the 1600s date,
yep,
we would need to find that with pottery and other things that we could date. And by association, we would say, this date's from this date to this date. That's when we talk about context.
Right.
That's what we talk about.
Yep. Not like bringing it to a jeweler and says, well, this is from the 1600s, and then they leave.
Yeah.
And like these sludge hammers or mining hammers, that's a 300-year difference from 1450 to 1750.
Exactly. And a little known secret, those actually fit together. It's really just one piece.
Fit together?
Yeah. The wedges fit together.
Wow. swing that hammer for a while. You hear that, guys? I'll get to your messages in a while. And there's another question you might not know, but I'm just throwing it out there. This is where they're showing us they're digging on D2.
Right.
And I do all my references off of C1. And I was a surveyor and went to Civil Tech. And each one of these blocks are 5 foot square. So D2 is about, I don't know, 8 or 9 feet away from C1. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would put it either in a building or in the middle of a road.
Now, you see on this Dunfield's dig location, you see C1 right there.
Right.
You go over about 8 feet. This D2 they're digging is still in the circle of Dunfield dig location. That's the part I don't get. Even though it was digged like a cone, I don't think 80 feet. You're still going pretty big and pretty wide. I need an explanation on this if you can. If you don't know, that's fine.
Me, I when I can, I stay out of money pit stuff.
You always said that, even a long time ago. I don't want to know nothing about the money pit.
I had to do stuff this year,
right?
Because of extraordinary circumstances,
right?
But for the most part, they just call me up to look at a piece of wood, and then I go away.
Yeah, because when I saw you there, making sure if they pull up something that you're there to, document it or whatever.
Yeah.
Now. And I'm going, well, maybe he knows about this. And I'm going, well, D2 is only about 8 foot away from C1. They're in the Dunfield dig location. They're pulling up all kinds of wood and boulders that they showed us. And I'm going, boulders? I never saw boulders coming out of the caissons before.
Yeah.
A lot of wood, but I never saw boulders coming out. That was sort of surprising to me.
Yeah, I know they were hoping to just hit a piece of the Dunfield dig, but I think we got more than that.
So I don't know. It looks to me that they're in the Dunfield spoils, but what do I know? That's just my own personal opinion.
I know they spent a lot of time trying to figure out where to put the first caisson. That's for sure.
Well, they went for it because of that most metal on that piece of
a
piece of gold on the metal. But then they said F4 had the highest concentration of Dr. Spooner's silver.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a truckload or a war room full of silver indicator on your water samples, I just shaking my head. I mean, all these scans and all these things that they did on this island for 230 years. I mean, I hope they find it. I hope if something's there, something's not there, get an answer some way. But you don't hear much about the Spooner silver as far as that going this year, because that was a big statement by Dr. Spooner, and I believe what his research showed. But I'm shaking my head on that, Laird. I'm shaking my head.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, we do tease them a lot about that statement, but.
No wonder why I can't get any of them on. They're hiding from me. I'm scaring them.
Exactly.
I'm scaring them. John's going to ask me the question about Spooner silver. Yeah, but maybe I can get him again at the bar when he's skiing with Steve when they're drinking beer.
Yeah.
Get Steve to turn on his phone and get a couple of quick questions in there. All righty, let's see here. So you haven't seen any of these pictures, huh?
I took some when I was there.
Yeah. Here's the can, and I was looking for your name, and I couldn't find it. I don't know. Maybe
it's on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
It's on the crane side.
On the crane side.
Yeah.
And that's what they were showing us.
Yeah. I'm in that crowd somewhere.
I hear you. That's what I was great to know, because I couldn't find it. It says, oh, my Lordy 40. Marty and Laird weren't there.
Yeah, I don't know where I am.
And then this is for the guys want to get on questions. And this is the piece that they said on our teaser now. This was 2 weeks ago, Laird. They're driving me crazy. This is the piece of concrete that they found in D2 that has gold in it. And they're thinking that's part a chip off the chapel vault?
That I would actually know nothing about.
Right. I'm just showing you how they tease us.
How did they get gold? What determined the gold? Do you know? Oh, that was a teaser. I guess you don't know.
In that machine, that XLF
The XRF.
machine.
Yeah.
Yep. And this is the piece they're teasing us with. That's why the next program is called Gold Diggers. And then the next program after that, it's called Blast from the Past. So I don't know if seismic testing is coming back to blast more things out. I have no idea.
That's the bane of Gary's existence, that seismic testing.
Okay, I got to ask you.
Yep.
If you found a rubber boot from 1909, why is it in such good shape?
It's well, it's what we call an anaerobic environment.
Right.
So there's no oxygen down there. I mean, it's rubber. In archaeological terms, it's not that old. And to be honest, it was a pretty worn out boot.
Not like the ones Rick gave you to go look at the hatch.
No, I almost killed myself. You know?
There's a better look at the boot. And
Yeah.
at least they gave you a name of the boot, so you know.
Yeah, we got the name off of it.
Doug does his thing.
Yeah.
And he knows every little bit of a fraction of every information. Doug Cowell, he's just fantastic.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then more wood.
Yeah. I'm in that picture. I'm there. Yeah, they found a lot of wood. Not surprisingly.
Yeah, but it's because of that bin. I'm giving you guys more questions. If they're looking for it where the tunnel collapsed, the shaft collapsed, there should be a lot more wood if it was a collapsed shaft going deeper. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess we'll find out shortly. Then when I saw this, it cracked me up. The drill hole that they drilled D2 right through the rock there.
Yep. I remember that clearly. Yeah.
Yep. People says it's an anchor bolt. It's an anchor stone. No, it's not an anchor stone. They drilled a 7-inch hole from the drill.
That was my first conclusion. I thought it was really cool. But yeah, that's
well, maybe with that bigger grab, LAIRD, that they can grab more in a 10-foot scoop and the volume comes more in the scoop than getting damaged more. I mean, I know you hate the grabber.
Yeah.
I know.
That was the theory, is you do less, or I guess you get more undamaged things than using the smaller scoop.
Yep. We're going to have Vanessa on in March.
Yeah.
She's coming on.
Yeah. Danny was great.
Oh, Danny. Vanessa always used to tell me, Danny hates the cold weather.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dead Pirate. Thank you, new member. And that's why they built that or brought a tool shed in so they can put the controls inside that little tool shed, because he was freezing outside doing the actuator and everything, right?
He, at least when I saw him, he never went in. He always stayed outside. So it was quite nice. But.
Do you bring him to the pub and anchor, whatever you call them over there?
No, we didn't have any get-togethers there.
Really?
No. We didn't see those guys. I didn't see them after hours.
All righty. I'll see this one, and then I'm going to put a phone number up, guys. Get ready. BC, do the Mi'kmaq have an oral history of activities on the island?
No.
And
no, we had, years ago, we requested, I guess it's a traditional ecological knowledge study. And there was nothing from Oak Island. There are a few archaeological sites around, like Gold River. Right. There's nothing recorded in Gold River, but that's a high potential area. Mm-hmm. Martin's River's a high potential area.
So if you can say, what's the progress or non-progress of the Ball Foundation and the McGinnis Foundation? Is that going into season 10, 11, 12, or what happened to that?
The McGinnis were unlikely to see anything more.
Okay.
I think the history is kind of showing it wasn't associated with the McGinnis family.
Okay.
Ball foundation. Nothing happened last year, so I always hold out hope. Hold out hope. It's not necessarily a direct part of the treasure hunt,
but a piece of the story, though. The history and the piece of the story. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, guys. This is what you've been waiting for. I tortured you long enough. I'm going to put the phone number up. Remember, you got to turn your volume off, your audio off. Otherwise, we're going to have feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll have to hang up on you if you got all kinds of feedback and stuff. And you'll have to listen to it live after you get off the phone, and then just replay it, because this is always going to be on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook Live anyways, guys. Alrighty, Laird, are you ready for this bombardment?
I don't know yet.
Okay, Laird. Let's see who calls in. Introduce yourself, and we'll go from there. In the meanwhile, season 9's in the books. Can you believe it?
I remember at the end of season 4 going, well, this is there's nothing else they can do on this island. Apparently there was.
We still got the sonar remote machine in the bay. We got to look for a little diving in the bay, that remote ocean sonar thing.
And there's always there's always new technology. Someone today just sent me some really interesting an article in Nature about some new technology to find voids and tunnels. So.
Right, and even they're doing that to bypass the limited areas, to go by the limited areas, to get to the new areas they can dig.
Yeah.
So that makes sense for them to do that. Hello, you're live with John and Laird. Who's calling, please?
Hi, John. This is Jan Scorza. Hi, Laird. Good to see you.
Hi, good to see you.
I have a question about the Ball Foundation. Is there any chance in the future that that could be developed as a learning center for children, school children, or adults to come and learn about how things were done on the island? I mean, I live in Virginia, and I'm close to Williamsburg and Jamestown and all these places where kids can go from school to learn about how things were done. Is there any plans for that in the future?
We haven't discussed that specifically. I know that Rick's dream is to bring the island back to what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he'd love to see that kind of interpretation in the area. And it would be wonderful to have the tours incorporate programming for kids to learn about the Black Loyalist story. Because right now, or at least when I was growing up, and I grew up 6 miles from the largest settlement of free blacks in North America, and we learned nothing about it in school. So I would be a big fan of doing something like that. And they are working on, and they're very considerate about what happens after the show, and how do we use this resource and use it properly.
There you go, Jan.
Well, thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to one day going there and seeing it. Everything was set up to go there, and then COVID hit, and everything had to be canceled.
I know.
So hopefully, within the next year or two, I'll get out there and see what's happening. But thank you so much for answering my question.
All right. Thanks, Janet.
Thank you. Laird, we got 6 calls right in a row.
Okay.
But it sort of went off, you know what I mean? My phone can only take one at a time, so you have to try to keep on calling in, because it's just saying missed calls on my phone. So
no.
First come, first serve. You know what I mean, Laird?
Yep.
All of a sudden, boom, 6 calls at once. So how am I supposed to do that? You know? Yep, Caroline. Try again. The minute somebody gets off, you're going to have to try to time it. Jazdia. Can anyone camp on the island, Jazdia?
No.
All private. It's all private. It's all private. Hello.
Hello, is this John?
This is John.
Hi, John and Laird.
Hi.
This is Robot.
Hey, Robot. I appreciate all your comments. I appreciate you being so active in my chat and live show. I thank you so much, Robot.
Oh, I love it. I'm a real fan of your show and the Oak Island.
You still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, go ahead. Laird's live. Go ahead. Ask him what you want.
Okay, I got a few questions, but the first one you've already, John already asked you about Frog Island. Are you familiar with Frog Island?
No, I've never been there. So, and I don't know any historical background for it.
And you weren't aware of Dan Sullivan or Peter Beamish doing their 1970s investigation into the island?
No.
Never heard of him.
Oh, okay. They found about 600 items, and one real interesting item was an anchor they found there, and they were sponsored by the Phillips Academy out of Andover, Massachusetts. So they have a museum down there of some of the stuff in the area, and the anchor supposedly was put in that museum.
Interesting.
One other question too, Murder Island. Are you aware of Murder Island?
No, this is all. I tend to focus on the very narrow archaeology of Oak Island. We rely on Doug Kroll to be aware of the other islands and the other possibilities.
What about before Samuel Ball? What about Jonathan Prescott, who was one of the original 1762 purchasers of lots on the island?
Well, I've just been going through some of the lot history.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's very
real fascinating.
Pardon me?
Yeah, he was a Freemason, and his family was involved in the American Revolution of 1776. His son, all were called Prescott, Jonathan Prescott. 4 of the people in his family, all same name. He was part of the invasion into Montreal, but a very fascinating person. He was responsible for bringing the slaves in that you were just mentioning. What were they called? The color, I forget the name of it. Okay, and my final question, this might pertain to you. Have you done, or are they doing, measuring the length of items that they find? Because during that time period, the length could be determined who was the depositor, whether they were French or whether they were English, because each had a different measurement.
I know everything I've cataloged, and I did it in here. I've measured, I've taken dimensions of, and it's all in the catalog.
And you're aware of like the French foot was larger than the English foot.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that would be.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I equate it to finding a Chevy or a Toyota, and that the Toyota had metric measurements, and you know immediately that it was not American.
Yeah,
just from the measurements.
Yeah, we tend
that's
to.
All I have.
Oh, we tend to measure everything in metric, but if you're looking at things like ox shoes, the metric system doesn't make any sense. So we just convert that to imperial.
Well, I see complete boards coming up, and if I measured those boards, I'd know by the inches whether they were French or whether they were English.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Robot.
Thank you so much, John, and have a good day, Laird.
Take care.
Next call. Next call. Keep on trying, guys. As one hangs up, the next one try to call. Is he coming through clear for you, Laird?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
good. Thank you. Just let me know if something happens you can't hear or something.
Yep.
Have you done a call-in show? You must have done a call-in show before, right?
Not a call-in show, no.
Oh, my lordy 40. This is another first.
Yeah.
Hello, you're live with John and Laird. Who's calling, please?
This is Caroline Anderson. Hi, John.
Hi, Caroline.
And, hi, Laird, and
Hello.
hi to the group too. I really appreciate Laird coming on to join us. It's good of him to do that. I have a question. I've been thinking about the Mi'kmaq, the pottery. What did they use it for? I mean, way back when, I was thinking if I was going to, let's say, cook something, I wouldn't use a clay pot. I just, take it and put it on the fire. Or we have a New England clam bake where you kind of dig a hole and you bake things into the, into the, I can't think of you using something that exotic for, I don't know, ceremonies or what?
No, they were. So the pots are conical.
Oh.
Meant to sit in the fire.
Oh.
And I believe they also heated by putting. This isn't my area of expertise. This is more Helen Sheldon's.
That's all right.
Expertise. But it was more for boiling. Some of the meat they got, it was very lean, right? So not necessarily the best for roasting. So just like in the 17 and 1800s, people tended to boil their meat or braise their meats, right? And that's what they were used for. And if you get an archaeological site and get a more or less complete pot, remember, John, you were talking about the barrels,
right?
At the bottom of these pots, you will get fat residue and things like that can be analyzed.
Oh.
Yeah, so they were cooking within the pot.
Yeah, the only other thing I could think of is way back when Boston, you had the bean pots where they kind of long term cook the beans with the pork or something, and as you say, you put it in the fire and just slowly let it cook.
Yeah, but remember, these guys don't have, they didn't have some kiln dried hardwood to start their fire with, right? They were
sure.
They had these low temperature fires that they had to maintain constantly. So it's yeah. Yeah, no, I think they were cooking things low and slow, but they were definitely cooking food within that pot.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time.
You're
Take care, John, and good to the group too. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Caroline, for calling in. Next call, please.
Okay.
Laird, you got to do a cooking show next.
Right? I am the cook at home, so.
The cooking show, and
you're a cook as well, right?
Yep. And what type of beer are we drinking? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's going pretty good.
Yeah.
Everybody's pretty separate. Hello, Mark from Australia. Phone is open. Oh. Hello, you're live with John and Laird.
Hi, this is Neil's Playground Justice calling in.
Hey, my main man, Neil.
How you doing?
Good. You got
Glad
Laird
to
here.
see Laird on the show.
Yep, there he is. Go ahead.
Great. First question is, have you heard of the vault theory that other YouTube producers have come up with ideas about what the island is for and like what kind of mechanics might be on the island? Have you heard about this theory?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because well, if you had, I was just curious if you, from what you've seen on the island, if there's anything that would lead you to believe that like is possible. But if you haven't seen it, whatever. Second question is, the amount of artifacts that you find on Oak Island, would you find that sort of materials and things and the amount of it, would you find that if you went on any of the islands in that bay?
Yeah, we kind of addressed that earlier. When you look at things like, not so much the artifacts, like the pieces of pottery and stuff, but if you look at the U-shaped structure, the slipway, stone road, and things like that, the paved area, I have to say no. I don't believe you'll find that same stuff on another island. That being said, I've never been on it, so.
Okay, and one quick follow up. Do you think that Newcastle United can avoid relegation?
I'm really hoping they do. They seem to be winning, for the most part. But the problem is other teams are winning too. So we need more teams to lose.
Well, for your sake, I hope they can stay up. So, but thanks for being on the show, and John, always great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil, for calling in. I can depend on you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Next call. Let's see, we've only been on it for about a little less than an hour, Laird. You okay?
Yep.
Just let me know if you want to cut it.
No problem. We just recently completely renovated my garage, so I now have this great office space to work in.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Phone is open. I don't know if everybody's getting hit with a... Hello, state your name. You're with John and Laird Niven from the Oak Island.
This is overdue, but this is Linda Shafto. John?
Yes.
It's Linda Shafto.
Yes, Linda. Thanks for calling in.
And and hey, Laird, welcome aboard.
Thanks, Linda.
I got a question about Dina's map. Have you personally looked at that map at all, or?
I have not. No.
Okay. Do you feel that? Well, I was going to say, have you ever that maybe there was no hatch or any valve or anything like that because they couldn't find it?
I'll tell you, for my own sanity, I try to stay away from theories.
You're better off, Laird.
just because an archaeologist, it's all about material culture. It's all about stuff you hold in your hands.
Right.
So when it comes to theories, I can say, okay, well, let's see what's there.
But they never really truly found anything on that map, did they?
No. My first, as John referenced earlier, my first experience on the island was at the supposed location of the hatch when I was wearing sneakers and Rick had to lend me his size 14 boots to go down in a hole.
Yeah.
He's talking about the hatch.
Getting in that.
Yeah, Linda, he's talking about the hatch behind David's house there.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. What about on Ball's property, the drain that they went through with the camera at that one time? Was there anything that they could find in that tunnel at all?
No, it was kind of strange because it was a drain that ran from his cellar to the southeast, quite a ways. But it was silted up, and then there was some collapse, so that's why the camera couldn't get through. Yeah, it was collapsed, but we did find the end of it.
Right. So there wasn't anything hidden in his foundation that could be like a tunnel or anything ever found?
No, we didn't. We only managed to excavate about half of his foundation. It was split by the base of his hearth, his fireplace. So there's still one half we haven't completely dug. but the eastern half we did.
Yeah. Do they plan on doing any more excavations around there? Is there any?
I hope
plans?
so. I think so. It may be something. I mean, the problem with archaeology is it's not very camera friendly necessarily. So it may be something, because this will carry on after the maybe not necessarily with me, but after the show is gone,
Right.
there will be money to carry this research on.
Laird, I love your dustpan.
Well, my other question was Lot 4. They were doing a lot of metal detecting in that region. Is there any other plans on any other lots other than 4 that they haven't explored yet, and they do plan on it?
Well, the big kind of elephant in the room for lots is Lot 5.
Right.
I'm not sure where that stands right now in terms of trying to acquire it or getting access to it.
Yeah, they teased us also, Laird, that Marty was looking to buy another lot on the island and an island. I'm going,
really?
okay. So that's another teaser, another one throw in the bag.
I don't actually watch the show, so I don't. This is all news to me.
What about that cannonball they found on top of the surface? Sorry, Linda, it just comes to my mind. That little,
No, that's all right.
that little rifle shot, that round rifle shot that was found right on the surface. I don't know. I forgot the lot number that Gary found. Does that seem
That was
possible?
32. No, that was.
If you don't know and it hasn't been shown, I can't say.
No, I thought it came off, what, 32?
Yeah, it was shown. It was shown on TV.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were walking along. Him and Rick were walking along, and he, obviously the metal detector wouldn't do it because it's a stone ball.
Yeah.
It's right on top of the soil.
Yeah.
Just coincidence or what?
Well, I guess I think the point is if you went out and looked for those, you probably never find them. So,
right.
But really, I'm not sure what I can say about that. I'm not sure if analysis has been done on the show of it or not. So,
okay.
Well, thank you guys. I
All right.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Linda.
Laird, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
This is why it's always easier to do these after the show is finished, because then.
Yeah, that just came up, but I had all the details, but I forgot to put them in the screenshot. They did analyze that ball and the ball they found on the wash table.
Okay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have asked it.
Yeah.
Hello, you're talking to John and Laird.
Hi, John.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm wondering about the 2 pieces of human bone that were found. We never heard much more about that. When they review all the big finds and stuff, you never seem to mention the 2 pieces of human bone. Could Laird comment on that?
Sure.
Well, I mean, other than that was a long time ago. That was my first year.
H8, right?
That's a really good question. I know that they did the DNA, right?
Yep.
And after that, I don't think anything further has been done, at least not to my knowledge. I'm assuming it's resident at the Nova Scotia Museum right now.
Mm-hmm. Phones are open. We'll take maybe 3 more, Laird. We'll take 3 more calls, Laird. Is that okay?
Yep. Yeah, that's fine.
A little bit over an hour. I don't like going real long.
Yeah, the time can fly.
Hello, you're live with John and Laird.
Time can fly.
Hello?
Yeah, is this John?
This is John.
Hey, John, appreciate you doing this. How you doing, Laird?
Great, thanks.
Chris Bose. I was wanted to ask about the Ball Foundation, what you thought the actual age of it was after the work you've done, and have y'all done anything on the barn?
The age, we were thinking Ball was there from like 1791 to 1842.
Mm-hmm.
And And then in his will, he left it to his servant if he'd take the Ball name, which he never did. But somebody was living in that place right up to like 1900s. Just we could tell that by the artifacts that we're finding.
Mm-hmm.
The barn, the biggest question we have about the barn foundation is that Dan Blankenship had his gardens up there. We see their aerial photographs showing this big long feature. So we're not sure if he kind of impacted the barn. The artifacts we found at the barn are from 1870s. It's probably not Samuel Ball's barn. I think it's after he died.
Mm-hmm.
But we just couldn't quite do enough work to confirm that it was a barn.
Well, I sure appreciate it, but let me ask you this: do you think that Ball constructed that house, or that it was an older structure?
Was it a log cabin, Laird?
Oh no. No, it was a dug cellar. We found at the very, very bottom of the cellar when we got all the rocks out. Now I'm going to post some videos of Billy taking the rock out,
Okay.
the rocks out of the foundation. At the very bottom of the cellar, when I thought things were done, we got Gary to come in, and he got a hit down there. And we found a button. He found a button, beautiful little pewter button, dated to the late 1700s. So that's what makes me think it was Samuel Ball. It wasn't earlier than Ball, but no, it was a dugout cellar that he put a rock foundation in it. It was a lot of work, for sure.
We don't know what the top of it was. Probably log home, right?
It was either log or board. Yeah.
Or board, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I sure appreciate it. Thanks for talking with us.
All right.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much. Two more calls. Two more calls out there. Since Dunfield built the causeway,
Mhm.
did you ever think of looking on the causeway to excavate?
No, I know a lot of the rock walls that were there are now part of the causeway.
There you go, Ray D.
Yeah.
Two more calls.
Digging up the causeway could be a little problematic.
Yeah. Yeah. Give Tony a lot of business, bolting everybody over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two more calls. I thank you a lot for doing this for me, Laird.
Oh, my pleasure, John.
Pat says, can you tell us about the hatch? It was nothing. The hatch was nothing.
The hatch, you need to get Jack Begley on here is what you need to do.
I scare everybody, Laird. They don't want to come on. They don't want to come on and go ahead. You're live with John and Laird.
Hello, John. Can you hear me?
Can hear you fine.
Great. Hi, John. Hi, Laird.
Hi.
This is Sharon Howard. How you doing, Laird?
Great. How are you?
Okay. Miss you.
I know,
Missed you
right?
last year. Anyway, I know, huh? Anyway, I'll get in touch with you later about that.
Okay.
I've got two questions for you. Number one, I don't know if you subscribe to the Archaeology magazine or if it's available to you online.
I don't.
But okay, I can probably send you this picture. But in this month's in the March-April archaeology issue, and you probably know this already, but I think it's interesting. It might be interesting for the group. They had their write-up about how they dug in Grand Prix in Nova Scotia.
Grand Prix, yeah.
And they said there's a picture of it here. There's a couple pictures, and it reads, Acadian artifacts excavated at the Grand Prix include a silver cross, which looks not too much like Gary's cross, if you will, but
Mhm.
it doesn't have the hole in it, but it is shaped the same. Pieces of 18th century redware pottery,
Yep.
most likely manufactured in New England, and 18th century British wine bottle, which looks exactly like that wine bottle that you
Yeah.
and I'm sorry, I can't, but it looks
Miriam.
exactly like it.
Yeah.
Miriam, yes. I was curious if you had known about that and if anything was compared to quote unquote what you guys found on Oak Island.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you that we haven't found anything remotely related to the Acadians. I've worked on
Okay,
Acadian
okay.
sites before. Yeah. So Acadians were gone in 1755, obviously. And the ceramics and the glass from 1755 are completely different from what we're finding. I mean, I'd love to find
Okay, all right.
something earlier than 1760, but we're still kind of stuck in the 1780s for like the ceramics and
Okay.
glass, which is my specialty. I haven't seen anything younger than 1770 so far,
Okay.
but I'd love to. The Acadian stuff is really distinct. I'd love to find some.
Yeah. Okay. And my second question is mostly to explain for the fans, as well as I'm kind of a little unclear about it.
Yeah.
How do the things that you find or Gary finds or the things that are found on the island, how does it rotate through the interpretive center that's there and then go to, is it the museum in Halifax?
Yeah. Yeah. So
How does all that work?
oh, this gets really complicated. So we found the two Mi'kmaq sites, right? And when you find something like that, like the Ball Foundation, I fill out a form called a Maritime Archaeological Resource Inventory form. And that's what I did for those two sites. And they get a specific number, a designation, like BDDB9. So all the artifacts we find from there get cataloged with that number, BDDB9-1, and on and on. But Gary's finds get cataloged under a different system. So this year I've had to bring all of those things together into different databases or spreadsheets. And in here, I get them all together, confirm them all, make sure they're all cataloged properly, put them in separate boxes depending on what license they were found under. And then they go to the Nova Scotia Museum. And so right now, all of our artifacts, including the cross, are at the museum. But I anticipate with the new government that they'll soon be coming back to the island so they can be displayed for interpretation.
Okay.
Very good, Laird. Thanks for your call.
Okay. Thank you, John. Thank you, Laird. We'll see
All
you.
right. See you soon.
Okay. Hopefully, yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
No traces of quicksilver as far as I know. I know there's a lot of talk about searching for the mercury bottles.
Right.
On lot 12, I guess it is.
All right. For the last question, guys, whoever wants to talk to Laird, I'm going to do not a giveaway, but they'll have special privileges to talk to Laird on the last one. Just type in his name, Laird. All righty. And the winner will talk to Laird Make sure you want to talk to them if you win. So just type in chat. It's just first name only. LAIRD. Let me see if I can do this right. Let's see if I can do it right, LAIRD.
Yep.
Write that number in there. LAIRD. You'll get exclusive to the superstar. I didn't know they called you the superstar until today, Laird.
I didn't know that either, John. I've been called a lot of things, I think, but
I would love to get Doug on the show, but I guess you don't do these things. A lot of people don't do podcasts, and I understand. You know, some
Yeah.
like it, some don't. And I try to make it easy. I don't know.
I like it. I like doing them because it gives me a chance to explain archaeology, and because it's not necessarily explained on the show.
Right.
So.
Right. Daniel Spino. Hi, Laird. I'm a big fan of your research on Samuel Ball. How long have you been researching him? And it seems like you have a bond with him. Can you talk about that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've been doing Black Loyalist research since 1998, I think it is. My hometown is very close to Birchtown, which where Samuel Ball spent 1 year. So it's really close to my heart. So I would love to just go really deep into Samuel Ball, and I mean we've got a pretty good history of him. We got a good history of where he came from in terms of slavery and freedom, but when he reaches Nova Scotia, he's a little more guarded. So I think we have a lot more work to do to find to trace his steps in Nova Scotia and how he got to Oak Island. I think that's the most intriguing thing. I think there are people he knew on Oak Island, like the McGinnises, that drew him there for some reason.
Would you be allowed to write a book on Samuel Ball?
Oh yeah, no. There's some. There's certainly want to write a popular book on the archaeology. It's just there's just no time to do.
No time. All right, let's draw. We got 13 people that want to talk to you for the last call, Laird. Then we'll get out of here.
Okay.
Here we go. Vilson. If you want to call in, we'll give you 5 seconds. If not, we'll respin. Not 5 seconds. We'll give them more than that, Laird.
That's pretty harsh.
I don't wonder why everybody don't like me. John had a contest. He gave me 5 seconds. I couldn't even dial the number in 5 seconds. Vilson, where are you? Samuel is my favorite Oak Island character. I live in southern Ontario at the end of the Underground Railroad, so I finally, in his history, interesting. Would you do more research, John Smith?
I'd love to. This year has been a
crazy year.
It's been a challenging year, for sure. Next year looks better.
I hear you. Let's get it on. Well, I'm going to respin. What do I know? Vicky Mosher. Are you here?
You have 5 seconds.
3 seconds on this one. 1,002. You're our winner for the last call. Vicky Mosier.
Mosier.
Thank you, Laird. Mm-hmm. I don't know if this idea was a good idea, but I throw it out there anyways, Laird. You know when it's live, when it's live. It's live as live can be right here. Alrighty. This is the last one. Either you call, you don't call, I'm done. Carly Wicker. Oh, Vicky, there you are. Never mind, Carly.
You're 3
now I
seconds
gotta have them
up.
both call if they call. The number's on the bottom. No, Vicky. The number's scrolling on the bottom. Playground Justice. Is Laird a Freemason? Are you a Freemason?
I am not.
Oh.
No, I did find out after my father died that
Mhm.
in 1948 he became a Freemason, but he didn't keep it up.
All right, she's looking for the number. Vicky. It's scrolling right on the bottom. Hope everybody can see it. Well, again, Laird, I thank you so much for coming on and doing this.
You're welcome, John.
Got to have you on more than once every year and a half, I think.
I know.
You know, time scheduling and stuff like that. It's tough to get together, but
yeah, the time passes really quickly. A lot has gone by.
Would you find John Smith's cellar on lot 19?
Good question. I can say generally that I think the known structures we have,
yeah,
a lot fewer than I think actually existed there.
Hello, this is John and Laird.
Hi, John and Laird. It's great to talk to you. I was having a hard time finding that little number.
You're the first winner on our first call-in show. Can you imagine that?
Hooray! Great. Well, thanks for spinning for me.
Okay, go ahead with your question with Laird. You got Laird, and that's it. You're the last call.
Anyway, Laird, I'm really interested in. You still there?
Yeah, we're here.
Yep, Laird, I'm really.
You got to lower your volume on your phone or computer. You got to lower your audio.
Okay. Laird?
Yep.
You got to lower all your audio on your phone and your computer. We're getting echo.
Okay, Laird, I'm really interested in that 600 AD piece of wood. And yeah, Laird, I'm really interested in that 600 AD piece of wood. And I think you said tonight that they did no further testing except for the C14. Is it possible to test for the kind of wood that it is? Because I think that will really, really enable people to know where it was from.
Yes.
And perhaps that would lead into what it was used for. Are they planning on doing that? And could you persuade them to do it?
I don't think I can persuade them to do anything, but yes, we do. Usually when it's sent for dendrochronology, they can do the species. But they do have the option to do basically, I'm going to say DNA testing, but it's not DNA testing. It's isotope testing.
Mm-hmm.
And they can tell where in the world these things are from. Right. So I'm not sure they can necessarily tell species, but they can say because of the isotopes, this artifact is from originally this part of the world. So usually it's dendrochronology that will identify species. But if the sample's too small, we can't send it for dendro. But we can send it off and find out where in the world it's from. But I think the problem this year was that lab was closed. So that may be something that they'll send off in the future.
Okay, terrific. I hope they do that.
Yeah.
Just one other little question. I think I remember several years ago they were talking about the oaks not being indigenous to Oak Island. Was that correct or not?
That I actually don't know. You're talking about the oaks in Smith's Cove or the oaks in general?
The oaks, it seems to me that there was only maybe one or a few oak trees left on the island, but they thought that there had been a lot more, many years ago. And I was wondering if they were indigenous or if they could have been planted.
We were with a botanist relatively recently on the Ball site, among other areas. Mm-hmm. And we looked at the oak trees, and he pointed out to us that because the oak trees they're huge, mm-hmm. but the branches are fairly low down and they go straight out. And he called those field oaks, meaning they didn't ever grow in competition with any other tree. So the oaks, which were probably 200 years old, the oaks that we saw had to grow when the area was open, when there was field. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I haven't heard that they've identified oaks that aren't native.
Okay, well, thank you, Laird.
All righty.
Okay, thank you so much for your call.
Okay, thanks for taking it. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, Laird, again, double salute. I thank you for coming on my first call-in live show.
Oh, the first one. Wow.
Yeah, and now I scared from Aaron to everybody else not to come on. I hope I didn't scare anybody. Oh, we saw what you and Laird were on, but they're pretty good. Everybody's pretty good. But my members were fantastic. I mean, it was okay. A little technical difficulties when they got to turn their volume off, because how do they hear if they turn their stuff off?
Yeah, that's a problem.
And I appreciate you coming on.
My pleasure.
I thank you so much, and I hope you come back again. If you want to wait in the staging area for 3 or 4 minutes after I log out, talk to you about 2 minutes or so, and
okay.
After I say my goodbye, so you can say your goodbyes, and I thank you so much, Laird.
All right. Take care, John.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Guys, what do you think of that, guys? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Laird's the best. He answered everything that I said, everything about with the government and the province. You got it straight from him. No rumors here, straight from him. But remember, members, always go forward. You may get a setback, but just believe in yourself. Believe in your dreams, but never give up. I never give up. You keep smiling. You be kind. I'll see you Tuesday pre-show at 7:15 next week. You stay strong. You stay positive. You stay safe. Thank you for joining me and Laird today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube if you like the content. You guys are the best. I knew you would be. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you. Take care. And bye-bye now.